I am ranked number one. One! That means I'm the best.
Kenny Porter's points were fair. They were fair on Dante's phone-in. And like Dante, who agreed with a lot of what Kenny was saying, I had Jacob shading it. Here's the truths though. Like Kenny pointed out, you missed the check weigh-in to come in heavy. Well, you need to use that to beat the champion down. That's what you need to do. So he was effective with the extra poundage from the check weigh-in enough that he wasn't severely troubled by Golovkin's power or wasn't hurt badly. Fair enough. He offensively did better than any of Golovkin's previous opponents I can think of. Fair enough. You have to remember though, the old adage, there's a reason why they say you need to take it from the champ. You need to take it from him. Because this can happen to you. You have to snatch it from him. You have to try and knock him out. Dante said Triple G voluntarily went to the ropes and Jacobs did nothing. Now, I said, if you can remember on the hangout, I said there was times I could see in Triple G's face, he was saying, Danny, I'm hittable. Come and whack me up. And Danny didn't throw down enough. He didn't throw down enough. I had Danny winning, but he didn't throw down enough. You got to take it from the champ. If you have a very popular champ like Golovkin with a developing fan base and a considerable proportion of the mainstream press behind him and the network. Come on, man. You're a PBC fighter. You're going into enemy territory on HBO. You need to beat this guy down and take him out. I said this before. He needs to knock him out. You need to knock him out. You need to stop him. Like, it's going to be unpopular. I'm going to say it, and I'll say it more times on more videos. Boxing is a business. You work with your advantages and your disadvantages to get over. That's all you have. You go in there with your two hands like your opponent, and you come out with the result that you deserve. I'm afraid. And as simple as that. You can't say, I don't care. I'll argue that with anybody. You get what you deserve. Now, you missed the check weigh-in. You wasn't able to use that extra weight to knock the guy out. It is what it is. That was his wild card, really, and it didn't show up. It didn't show up. Yeah? Now, what did Golovkin have behind him, perhaps? The machine? Maybe a little. Yeah, he did. He probably did. And it's a business. You know, you're not just fighting Golovkin. You're fighting an emerging fan base. You're fighting a network who have a certain ideology on boxing now. They didn't used to have it, but they have now. If Golovkin lost, then Canelo loses against Chavez. It's done. It's done for them. HBO are done. You're fighting a mainstream media who've always been biased, but now they're not even hiding it. Golovkin attracts more endorsement. He's endorsed by Jordan, isn't that right? They've been working on this Project Golovkin for a long time. Gotta respect the game. You're fighting a lot of different elements. They want to push this guy towards being a global iconic superstar. That's what they want to do. Expect nothing. And I don't think Danny did, in all fairness. I don't think he did. I haven't heard him screaming rematch. He accepts his fate. I would like to see a rematch. That's my position. I don't think Kenny was throwing shade. I think Kenny views it as a wasted opportunity. He was supporting Jacobs, that's what he said. And he saw a lot of things that he's probably discussed with other trainers or people in the camp about Golovkin. This guy doesn't transition very well, I'm talking about Golovkin, from defense to attack that smoothly. This is something that a fluent boxer should be able to exploit. And he didn't see Jacobs doing that, from his interpretation. He also spoke about the amount of jabs that Jacobs got hit with. I think Jacobs underestimated Triple G's jab a little and was probably prepped for more defending against hooks. Triple G didn't land much power punches, much hooks. And he does like throwing a good hook. But Jacobs' high guard on the power punches was very effective. Maybe didn't do enough research on the jab. Didn't block enough jabs. And Triple G himself, Triple G's not an unintelligent fighter. When he saw Jacobs' high guard was very effective on the hooks, he didn't even bother trying to throw a lot of them. That's why in the punch stats it showed up that he'd done better with the jab. There's only a few fights that's happened with him with the Lemieux fight. How much other fights has he had such a high success rate with the jab? Kenny's coming from the perspective that even in the fights that Sean Porter has lost, he left everything in the ring. That's his philosophy. Everything's left in the ring. Say what you like. The Kell Brook fight, the Keith Thurman fight, everything left in the ring. There's no, could have. No. All left in the ring. No matter how limited you think he is or how good he is. That's the bottom line on a Sean Porter fight. Now, am I suggesting that every fighter should go at it like Sean Porter toe-to-toe from the first to last bell? Of course not. But that's the argument we're having with HBO, where they seem to want every fighter to conform with a UFC type of style to suit their sensibilities for whatever misguided reasons they have. That's the whole point. Some boxers are more economic with their punch output. Some are counter punchers, some are movers, some are brawlers, some throw 1 million punches a minute. And that's the beauty of boxing. That's the beauty. You have the choice to execute your game plan as you see fit. You have a training camp over a period to get your strategy right. And you get your result. And you can't be mad with it. You can be, but what good's it going to do? Now, I wasn't really that disappointed with the judges' scorecards. Because if you can listen to the hangout that I did. When the final bell went and everybody was saying, I wonder who's going to get it. I said, no. Our involvement's done now. Jacobs ain't going to get none on the scorecards. Of course he's not. So I wasn't that disappointed, you know. I was just pleased that from my visual standpoint, he won the fight. I was happy with that. I would have been happier if he got the belts, but like I said, that would have took an elite performance by Jacobs on the night. And maybe he didn't quite get there. But I was pleased. Man. He done his thing. All the fear selling, like Andre Ward was talking about, that's dead now. There's a blueprint on how to beat the guy. And I like Golovkin, but in a way, he's been adopted by a corrupt power source. His fan base are inherently evil. The mainstream press, the network behind him, all inherently evil, in my opinion. So, there's a blueprint on how to take him out. And I won't be sad if it happens. I won't be sad. Jacobs versus Triple G was an interpretation fight, no doubt about it. But, he didn't manage to get the 2 belts. And that's what he came to get. And he failed in getting the belts. Bottom line, controversial. Some people, not me, have said corruption. Say what you like. Failure. Didn't get the belts back. That's the bottom line. He failed. And Triple G left the ring with all his trinkets. A couple of good performances against some high-profile opponents. Nobody's going to forget the Jacobs effort. Nobody's going to forget it. But it will do a great deal in his rehabilitation from what was his hardest fight and from what was a fight where a lot of people said he was exposed. It would do a great deal. I've got no problem with Kenny Porter's comments. A lot of people didn't like what he said. And I understand where they're coming from, but I have no problem with it.